ZERED Bassett. Jigga to the motherfucking 9 shot.
That was fucking off the chain, and I'm gonna make him do one more. Do one more.
I would definitely be different if I grew up anywhere else, for sure. I mean, you know, you're affected by your environment, so growing up on the East Coast has definitely shaped the way I skate, without a doubt. I was born in Cape Cod, Massachusetts, a town called Chatham. Cape Cod's like a small fishing village, a lot of woods, a lot of beaches, small, really small town. Yeah, when I was younger, I'd fish a lot with my father, go clamming, father and my brother. Yeah, a lot of fishing, a lot of outdoor stuff. Grew up on a little pond, go swimming, ride dirt bikes, four-wheelers. I got into skating when I was probably around 10 or 11. I played hockey for years since I was really young, played sports. Kind of once they started making like the new school shape boards with the double kick tails, I remember seeing a group of kids in our town kind of just like walking through town with these boards that I'd never seen. So I was like, I need to get one of these. And one of the kids that was on my hockey team, we both ended up getting them. So then after hockey, we'd go skate in the parking lot. My best friend I grew up with, Lou, was really into skating. We were both into skating, but he had magazines, he had skate videos, which I never watched a skate video, or when I first started skating, I didn't even know there were skateboard magazines. I was just so secluded in this little town. I would just skate with my buddy, and they built a skate park, and we'd go there and skate every day. And that's when I met my buddy Lou, who kind of put me on to, you know, I'm like, whoa, there's names to these tricks, there's actually pro skaters, and kind of opened up that whole world to me. And one of the first magazines I ended up buying myself was at this post office that they had like a bunch of magazines, and it was a Heckler magazine. Mike Vallely had an interview in it, and I remember just, the spots that were in his interview were kind of spots that that were in our town. It was just stuff that I could kind of relate to. He was like dropped in off this roof onto another roof. Just skating cool looking stuff that was around our town. So then I started finding spots that I'd see in his interview, trying to like drop in on little roofs and stuff like that. So that was definitely my first like person that kind of inspired me to like skate. Yeah, I probably skated for maybe 2 years in the town, and then they ended up building a skate park probably like 2 years into me skating. The park was actually really good. Yeah, just like a half pipe, a little spine ramp, quarter pipes, little manual pad. Yeah, it was good. The skate park I grew up skating, they moved it after a couple of years into this different area. It was the same park, but just a bigger space, and they built a couple more things. So I remember a couple teams came through. There was a Invisible demo. I remember Jason Maxwell was there skating, and like Laban, and a bunch of dudes. And I remember Jason Maxwell was trying this trick there, and he was like, dude, you should like send your video to 16 skateboards, because they were the same distribution as Invisible. He's like, send in a sponsor me tape, and I was like, shit. So then me and one of my buddies like split a camera, and I would just film my friends, and they would film me, and that's when I kind of started making little videos.
Hey, what's up? This is my video part, go for 16.
Go.
That was probably like a year later, maybe after that demo. I made a tape, got a camera, made the tape, started sending them like sponsor me tapes. And then a year and a half, 2 years later, they asked me to go on a trip through California with the rest of the team. And that was like my first trip. Oh, it was amazing. I was like, I'm going to California. Like, I made it. This is sick. You know, like my parents like flew there with me, like dropped me off. They're like, all right, have fun. Like, yeah, I was just at that time. I didn't really see the difference, East Coast, West Coast, or wherever. I had no idea. I just knew California was warm, and that's where the industry was. So I was kind of always like, oh, California, I need to go there. At that time, I still didn't really pay attention to like style or like, you know, I wasn't. At that time, I was still so like, you know, out of the loop of what was what. And then years after, kind of learned, like met more people in Boston and more East Coast like pro skaters. It was kind of like, oh wow, you can like do this from the East Coast too. Like when I first learned that, I didn't know you could like be a pro and be on the East Coast. I think the first person I met that was like a pro that I would hang out and skate with a lot was Steve Nardone, who lived in Boston. And I'd skate with him a lot, and then met like Robbie Gangemi through him, Joey Pepper. And that's when I started like realizing like, oh wow, these dudes, you know, live on the East Coast, and I could kind of started to learn, you know, the different spots and like the different way that people would skate, and kind of started taking pride, like, oh yeah, I'm from the East Coast, this is sick, like, I'm into this, I like this, you know? Yeah, starting to realize like style on a skateboard. Like before it was just like someone does a crazy trick, you're like, oh, that was cool. And then, you know, once you get older, you kind of learn what styles you like and what you can relate to more. 16 Skateboards was ending, and the guy who was doing that was Rodney Johnson, and he was going to work for World Industries. And he had asked me, he's like, hey, I'm going to World Industries, do you want some boards from them? And I was like, yeah, for sure. So I was getting boards from World Industries for a couple months, and then I remember going to Boston a lot more. Jeff Pang had hit me up from Zoo York and asked me to ride for Zoo. And I remember I was in Boston walking with Jamal Williams, and I was kind of mentioning to him, like, yeah, like Jeff hit me up to ride for Zoo, I don't know what I'm gonna do. And he was just like, dude, like skate for Zoo, you know? Like, you're from the East Coast, it's just like, it'd be rad for you, you know?
ZERED, put your money where your mouth is.
That was like when I first started going to New York. I was probably 15. I'd go meet up with Jeff. And actually the first time I went, I'm on the phone with Jeff, like driving up. And he's like, yeah, Harold and Muska are waiting for you to go skate. And I like thought he was like totally joking. I like get to the Zoo office for the first time, and it's like Harold and Muska, like, let's go, let's do this. Yeah, it was out of control.
Killing it.
Yeah, like right when I got my license, I drove to Zoo. The old Zoo office was in the meatpacking district, and I met up with Harold and Muska, and I remember skating up Park Ave, and Muska being super hyped on these planners in the middle of the street, and skating in traffic, and just kind of wondering why nobody ever skated them. And I'm like 16 years old, just like following these dudes around, tripping, like in the city, just all the people and like everybody just coming up to them nonstop. And yeah, skating down Park Ave, and Muska no sliding and grinding these planners the whole way down was pretty epic. One of the first times in the city, being a little kid from the old Cape Cod.